The first thing I thought about this morning was trying to watch your fucking back. And then I get demonized, you know? Like, I went to school for this shit. I studied political science at TCU. And I paid attention and I took notes. And I understood the concepts. Like, I was locked in. We studied this in high school. I studied this in the Boy Scouts. And then I get demonized for calling it out after watching them demonize higher education, after seeing them hijack the NRA, after seeing them hijack the Republican Party, after seeing them hijack all these corporations. What y'all don't see is, like, I have political science background from college, and I have a fuck ton of sales background. So I've actually kind of indirectly come in contact with the very corporate entities that have crossed over into the political sphere. So they know how to sell and they know how to help you guys make decisions on products, certainly. But they've also, some of those very corporations who are good at selling, they've crossed over into the political space, and they've used some of the same strategies that they use in marketing to help people make decisions politically. So that should send a red flag, considering that most anything I see coming from the right, their ideology consists of lies, and you just have to look into it yourself and have a little bit of knowledge of how to find primary sources to be able to see that they're full of lies. But I want to give you a quick example of what I'm talking about. Like, for instance, vertical marketing. In telecommunications, we would sell directly to real estate agents and doctors or attorneys, and we'd have specific language. Even though we had the same product to sell every single one of those industries, we had specific language to use when we're selling to a specific vertical market. You know, we'd use legalese when selling to attorneys. We'd, make analogies with, the healthcare system if we're talking to doctors. We'd, talk about, hot button words in the real estate industry for selling to realtors. And I think it's funny because we have the same product that we're selling to everybody, we're just putting a different spin on it. And these same type of marketing, corporatists know that works. That if you can speak to somebody the way that they, are used to, then you're going to have a lot higher likelihood of converting that person. And when I'm saying converting, I mean actually getting them a product and selling it to them and making money off it. And then, but to take a step further, not only do they know how to vertically market to, like, linemen or policemen or firemen or construction workers, it seems like those types of folks have all been hit pretty hard with Russian and far right-wing propaganda in the past 7 years, or longer. But they've specifically gone after specific trade organizations or industries that are known for not having higher level educations. So they targeted them. And then in addition to that, I think they've set up call centers, the same call centers that kind of track down, consumers for products for corporations. They use third-party, like, marketing firms. Those same entities, I think they moonlight as organizations. Some of them, not all of them, they moonlight as political organizations, and they marry with the petroleum industrial complex in ways, or they use the same tactics in that they find a vulnerable person based off their demographics, what they know about their search history and pirated data, that sort of thing. They find some vulnerability with that person, and then they exploit it. They create this presence online where you almost think you've got a friend, and really it's just, somebody acting like a specific, political ideology to get you to the next stage in their game. But they're trying to sell you on fascism, Christo-fascist theocracy. They're masking it and covering it up and making it look like patriotism. But they're trying to sell that to you incrementally, and they're trying to sane wash it. You've heard Midas Touch say that stuff, but they'll sane wash these insane Republican ideologies over and over and over and over, to the tune where these folks, if they watch the hijacked corporate media, or if they turn to social media, they see these people all agreeing with them in the comments. The troll industrial complex has given this illusion that these Christo-fascist people pushing this theocracy, that they have support, and they have anything but. If you studied fascism at all ever, you know that it's this small group of people trying to manipulate the larger group, and they use a web of lies to do so. And so what do you think is happening? There's a web of lies. There's documented 60,000 lies by this guy. They're using all these corporations that have somehow been managed by the same company over the past like 10-20 years. The same companies manage all these companies, and all of a sudden our inflation just goes out of nowhere. They're trying to take over the country by pinching the working man who has a family. They're trying to pinch you with inflation. They're trying to misdirect you with misinformation online with social media and these trolls, these marketing trolls, whether they're politically motivated or they're trying to sell you something. They have deployed an army of trolls to sway your opinion. These trolls bleed into our fun times too. Like when we're in streams and stuff, you wonder why everything gets so fucking negative and shit. It's because the trolls, they're living and breathing what they do. It's a lifestyle for these shit stains. Not only do they go in and they try to detract politically from anything that smells like democracy, but they just try to go in and they just try to attack your psyche. They just try to fucking make you miserable. Their whole plot in life, their whole order is to just cause chaos. So it doesn't really matter how they cause chaos. If they see an American doing well, they just want to just tear it down. So it doesn't matter if you're right wing or left wing, like it doesn't fucking matter. If you're in their way and they see you as something that's flourishing in the United States, they're going to find a way to come after you. And they already have a fucking multiple textbooks written on how to do it. And most of y'all guys are fucking not even seeing it come in front of your face. You're not even seeing it. You don't even know these people exist, first of all. You're seeing this happen. You're seeing all this negative ass fucking talking in chat. You're seeing all these fucking, this corporate malfeasance, all this inflation, these high costs, BlackRock buying up a bunch of real estate. You see all this shit, and you're just fucking, like, you don't understand that all these people are working together to try to just take what little fucking freedom and happiness we have. They're trying to take it using corporate fucking tactics and strategies, marketing, sales. They're helping you make a decision on Christo-fascism, and they're doing it every goddamn day. And they've fucking infiltrated your neighbor's psyche. They've infiltrated your family psyche. They've infiltrated your psyche. They've infiltrated a lot of our politicians' psyche. So, billions of dollars are being spent to manipulate you over this. So don't feel bad. But the sooner that you can fucking know what you're up against, the easier that it'll be for me to fucking operate. Don't even know who the fucking enemy is. The fuck are we gonna fight if you guys don't even know who the fuck we're fighting? So I know there's multinational corporations that are to blame for the rise in Christo-fascism and the rise in Trumpism, because I've seen their strategies in the sales field before they implemented it into the political spectrum. For instance, vertical marketing. Many corporations took on this type of campaign because they knew that they could use specific verbiage and rhetoric to appeal to a specific type of occupation in a particular industry. So they knew they could speak to linemen. They knew that they could speak to firemen. They knew they could speak to policemen. They knew they could speak to construction workers, and they knew how to. And I know that it's a hostile corporate takeover because not only have they used those corporate strategies to brainwash people, the KGB, FSB, MAGA, etc., the far right, ultranationalists, Heritage Foundation, Alliance Defending Freedom, Federalist Society, Trump, Roger Stone, Steve Bannon, all these shit stains got together with these, upper level executives who all had this experience with vertical marketing. And then they take it a step further and said, not only do we know how to vertically market to these people and sell them whatever you want, but we also know what they fucking dream about at night because we have access. We've worked with third parties to poach data, and we know exactly what their browser search history is. We know, their demographics. We know their income levels. We know their education levels, based off all this data mining that these call centers have done within these corporations. I'm more like financial hitmen, they're contracted to develop dossiers on people and then just attack their vulnerabilities. And then, of course, there's some people that will just straight up are just hackers and then just steal shit. But this is a way to kind of craftily and almost legally steal from you. They'll vertically market to you. They'll know your demographics. They'll know your friends. They'll know how you're aligned. They'll know how to approach you about certain topics. And then in addition to that, they have these call centers that are set up kind of like troll factories where they'll keep on pinging you and following up with you on a daily and weekly basis to try to sell you something, whether it's, insurance, or whether it's, solar panels, or whether it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. They'll find a way. This call center will find a way to track you as a consumer and then deliver you bit by bit information that'll help lead you to a certain conclusion. You see how that works with marketing? Works the same fucking way with politics. If they are like, hey, we know these people don't know shit about political science because they didn't go to college. We've already done a great job demonizing the shit out of that. People have fucking manipulated that process and they fucking exploited that system where they don't trust it. And then if we fucking destroy the faith in fucking media and then buy them over and then control what the fuck they say, these folks will have nowhere to fucking turn, because they have no education to fall back on. The fucking corporate news media has been hijacked that they sit in front of. They're busy working all day. All they really care about is their family. You try to pinch them with some fucking inflation and all of a sudden they're gonna fucking be a little weary. And they're going to be looking for a strong man to take control of the flailing economy. You see how they're just fucking toying with your fucking brain? It's offensive to me. So instead of me getting sleep right now or working on my business or cleaning my house or having fun with my dogs, I'm trying to desperately explain this to you guys because I don't want in 5 to 10 years or even less to have what I think is hell now and just rampant fucking corporate fucking malfeasance, fucking no nations, no borders, just fucking autocrats in charge of, mass amounts of money, and they call themselves corporations, and they just go around leeching off people and just pilfering and pirating. I'm not really worried about myself here. Like, hopefully I die in the first week of that fucking hell shit, But I mean, I don't want to see it get to that point. I've seen us accomplish a lot. I care about a lot of people on this planet. I think it's a beautiful planet, but I'm not worried about me fighting in a fucking nuclear holocaust. I'm not worried about that. In fact, it sounds kind of fun, Won't have to worry about taxes. Won't have to worry about insurance. Won't have to worry about fucking a lot of shit. Just worry about watching my back and feeding my belly every day. Sounds kind of nice. So I only got one mouth to feed. Y'all are begging for it. fucking talking about putting that shit stain back in office, because the people that he surrounds himself with are fucking complete fucking criminals. And they're gonna destroy everything you love. They've already tried, and they fucking did it in front of your face, and then they manipulated and lied about it, and you actually still are giving them a second chance to do it again. That's offensive to me. That is incredibly offensive to me. And then you try to fucking say that I'm talking about fucking politics